Hello,
Good evening.
everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Town Towers. Rich, the ink is dry. 4 p.m. today. We got the announcement. We've got Super Kieran McKenna for another 4 years. It's done. The saga is over. Immediate thoughts.
Let's not go overboard. If he's still here in 2028, Town are absolutely flying. We're probably in the Champions League, Matt, by then.
Probably winning it. Probably winning the Champions League, I would imagine.
Wow.
But it's taken a while, hasn't it? It's taken a while to get over the line. We was at the cricket yesterday. We were checking our phones every half hour.
Legal.
Has it been announced?
Last minute little I's and T's to dot on the contract. I've got a couple of comments here from Kieran.
Yeah.
From the Town interview. I'm extremely proud to have signed a new contract with the club. So Kieran McKenna, we have enjoyed incredible success together over the last 2 seasons. I'm excited to have the opportunity and responsibility of leading this fantastic club into his first season in the Premier League in 22 years. So it's not just Kieran who's got a new contract, Matt. It's Martin Pert, Charlie Turnbull, Lee Grant, and Renee Gill-Martin.
Everyone's done all right for themselves.
They've all got a few extra quid in the pot.
Yeah. I'd love to know how many more zeros is on Kieran's paycheck, but he deserves it. Good luck to him. It was an interesting interview, wasn't it, with Matt Holland? I don't know if everyone's seen it. So it's about 11 minutes long on YouTube, isn't it? Matt was a bit cheeky, I thought. Threw in what did it take to convince you to stay? And they both had to go, him and Ashton.
Well, he did actually. He nearly admitted, didn't he, that he said football's a short career, Kieran said, and you've obviously got to look after your family. I think there's a longer interview coming out tomorrow. I think there's another interview out tomorrow on Town TV with Jacob Henderson, with just Kieran. He sat down with him. So I don't know if there'll be some more things to come out. I thought Kieran was quite honest. Football is a short career, and you will the more success.
He said management was a short career, which I thought was strange.
Well, it can be. It can be.
It depends who you are.
If you don't do very well and you keep getting the sack, it's going to be obviously shorter than you want it to be. But look, I thought it was a good interview. It was maybe it was a bit cheeky of Matt to ask that question. They'd have gone through them anyway, wouldn't they? They'd have prepped before they'd have gone live.
You'd imagine so, but
just throw a curveball in there, did he?
I would have said, well, maybe we'll lose the convincing bit, Matt, but never mind. That was in there. But like you say, he said he's so happy to commit to Ipswich, and it's a relief for everyone, isn't it? Because look, we've had the drought, the Evans era, 20 odd years of doing nothing. And, we were both there at Anfield and we got relegated.
This is it. This is it, Matt. Look, this is it. He knows exactly what we need. Get him on. Glory Days artwork. Glory Days artwork, by the way. Great T-shirts.
I suppose it's a weight off everyone's shoulders because we've had we've not seen scenes like it, have we? The League One promotion, then the Championship promotion, pitch invasions, Ipswich drunk dry, and then suddenly it felt like we was going to lose the manager. But it's a relief for everyone, isn't it? Regardless of where you are in the globe, be it in Suffolk, Essex, Kuala Lumpur, wherever you might be, it's a relief for all Town fans, isn't it, that Kieran's going to be staying for at least the season anyway.
Yeah, it's only natural. Like the last week, everyone's been on edge because you think you've created something and then it's going to be taken away from you, like piece by piece. The jigsaw puzzle, like your manager goes, and then it could all fall apart. Because I did say, I think it was when we done one of the shows, if McKenna goes, I think it's a hard enough job as it is to keep Town in the Premier League anyway, because we're going to be one of the favourites to the drop, But if he'd have actually left, the tattoo is back on, Chris. The tattoo is back on.
Is the original date back? You had June the 4th, didn't you? Is that now
June
back
the 4th was always on. It hadn't changed.
Can you just clarify? If it wasn't going to be Kieran, you were going to get me and Martin, weren't you, on there instead?
Well, I might have just got Martin after his appearance yesterday. If everybody hasn't seen it, go to the Talking Town YouTube page. It's on there. It's like Matt said. Anything that me and you are on, and he tries to get it out, well, it takes ages. Within about minutes, there he is. Lambert's got himself. He's on the YouTube. No, I don't think Frankie's going to boo ITFC Beard now. Don't think everyone has got carried away. I think a lot of comments that some
emotional.
People, they might regret saying some things, but I think that's only human nature. It's football, and it does stir your emotions. And when, like I said, when you think that the key to the whole jigsaw puzzle was going to be taken away from you, and you're thinking, "Oh Christ!" And look, we're happy that he's here. Everyone, I can't see anybody saying, "Oh, he's staying," but it's a little bit tainted. I don't agree with anybody who says that now. We just have to move on and look forward to the summer, because we were looking forward to it. The last week has been pretty shit, but This
Do
is
you
what
think,
happens. This is the price of success, Matt. And this is what Roy Keane said when he came to town. He called us Sleepy Suffolk. This is the fact that now we are in the Premier League. We've got all the lights on us, and we need to wise up a little bit as a fan base, I think, a little bit, because we ain't had this for 22 years. We've been floating away in obscurity, and no one's really worried about Ipswich.
Yeah,
Ipswich are in the Championship for, 17 years, set the record. Then we went down to League One. No one was really bothered. But now we're back, and we're the major talking point. In Kieran, look, when your manager wins Manager of the Year over Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, you're doing something right as a football club. And that comes the price of success, isn't it?
And that is why, everybody, the Gov has gone global on Sky Sports News. Do go and check it out. He done, 6-7 minutes? He's very good, wasn't he? As everyone rightly says, he did put on the phone voice, didn't he? He put on his phone voice.
Talking of global, we're not going to tell anybody yet what's happening, but this man here, Matt Phillips, he's been on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got something massive lined up. We have got something massive lined up for later in the summer.
Keep it locked to the Mac Daddies, the Talking Town Boys. We've got something coming up for you all very, very soon as we count down to the Premier League. Yeah, I mean, look, it's interesting you say that point, actually, but Ashton said the external noise. And I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? We've not had external noise around this club for like 2 decades. And then suddenly you do get some success. And as Ashton rightly says in that interview, the last person who had, people were looking at and wanted a prize away from this club was Bobby Robson. Yeah. And, and here we are with the same story with Kieran. So, I mean, I suppose I wonder how much of it really was media hype, the fact that Ipswich were the story, the back-to-back promotions, the Sky News parade going around Ipswich. And then suddenly, Kieran he's wanted, isn't he? He's collateral. People want a bit of the story, don't they?
I'd still say now, he's the best young coach in Europe.
Yeah.
You said, right? Yeah, obviously he's
he's younger than him,
one defeat in 53. But you look at Kieran over 2.5 years at town. We've only had 14 defeats in 160 odd games. I think he's managed. Yeah. It's a great record. Look, obviously it's going to be harder next season in the Premier League. But this is where now, I think Mark Ashton said on the interview, 82 days, Matt, until the Premier League starts. And I mean that is, you've got to hit the ground running now, because I think we've lost maybe we've lost a week maybe, but. They've obviously talking to transfer targets, and this is probably the next thing. The next first signing I see tonight, we're linked with Amari. That's still floating around in the background, and it'll be interesting to see where we go with the first. I think you'll probably be able to see the first 1 or 2 signings. But I think, look, we're talking about Kieran here. Mark Ashton needs to have a massive pat on the back, because him, done well again. Obviously, Ed Schwartz has come over. To talk to Kieran. Mark Ashton.
Did he come over to convince, do you think? Is that what prompted Matt to say convincing? The fact that someone flies from Arizona to the UK when your manager might be heading to wherever
it shows that the belief that these people have got in Kieran, and
it does.
They want to keep hold of him. You've got that jewel in the crown, and we don't want him going. It's obviously he signed this contract now. There's probably a massive release clause, because I think it was 4 to 6 million, I think. If he'd have gone this time,
we thought that was light, didn't we? When we were chatting on the phone, we were like, "What?"
But everyone
talked about Leif Davis paying 20 million quid, and you've got Kieran, the mastermind of the whole vision, along with Ashton, going for cheap as chips. If it had been a compensation payment, of course.
But I think that just protects the club a little bit, because it's only an extra year. It's only an extra year on what he was contracted till 2027 anyway, and. He's reported to be, I think, he's going to be 5 million a year, one of the highest earners now. Obviously outside the big six, but
yeah, of course, yeah.
And he deserves a pay rise after the success he's brought to the club.
We've got that cheddar now. We can spend it, can't we? Yeah, absolutely. He seemed like I made a joke, didn't I? With the actual photo they used on Twitter at 4:00, he looked like he had a gun to his head, didn't he? Like a rabbit in the headlights. But he come across good in the interview, I thought, and. He said, the chance to lead Ipswich in the Premier League and take move the journey forward was one he didn't want to miss out. I mean, we said that. What did Ben Adams say to you? It felt like a chapter was missing in the fairy tale at the end, didn't it? Maybe he felt that vibe as well.
Yeah, because we all want him walking down that touchline middle of August, first game of the Premier League season. You don't want your manager to think, I'm going to go to somewhere like Brighton and go and manage them. No disrespect to Brighton. They were the one club that I probably thought he might go to. And I think in the future, If it
May
pans
still.
out how,
Who knows
yeah,
the future, yeah?
I think if it pans out how Kieran wants it, and if he's successful here for the next season, the world's his oyster. He doesn't have to go to a Brighton as used as a stepping stone club. He doesn't have to do that now. But look, there's so much going on. He's obviously got the training ground. He's had to say so in that.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, didn't he, he's proud to manage this team. And we're all proud of Kieran, that the journey that we're all on together. You know, we can't. Ashton said this, Matt, when he first came in. We can't do it without the fans. We've all pulled in the same. And you want to keep that momentum going that we've had for the last 2 seasons. And you want that into the Premier League now, don't you?
Yeah.
And if he'd have gone, you would have lost a little bit of that momentum. I know whoever might have come in might have done a good job. You don't know, do you, what would have happened moving forward. But Kieran's the one that we wanted in that dugout. And
pivotal figure of it all, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I do. No, I do get that. How important do you think it is, these new deals for the staff as well? Like you said earlier, you got Charlie Turnbull, you got Martin Pert, Lee Grant, Renee Gill-Martin. I suppose people like to be surrounded by the people they've got confidence in, haven't they? I suppose everyone is benefiting out of Kieran's success.
Yeah, he trusts them people, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's got them in there for a reason. It's like when Paul Cook was here, and we said, didn't we? He didn't have his trusted deputy with him, and look what happened. Look what happened without him. Now, you normally get this now, don't you? When the manager leaves, they take the whole staff with them because they all come as a package. And obviously, he was with Martin Pert, wasn't he, at Man United?
Yeah.
And we're all. That'll be my abiding memory when Kieran does leave, and they all. My Martin Pert abiding memory will be on that table, swinging his shirt around his head, going absolutely crazy. I mean, that was unbelievable scenes, wasn't it?
But I suppose when you think back to how they started, like you say, they went over together to Vancouver Whitecaps, I think, in Canada. No one knows who they are. You know, they're trying to get a break in the game, and then suddenly you get this wave of success, like a typhoon of success, and suddenly you find yourselves in the Premier League. And I don't know, it's just it's a real underdog story come true, isn't it, for us? And we've lucked out that it's Ipswich. It could have been any club, really, whoever took the chance on them. Yeah,
definitely. And look, Mark Ashton, I've said on here before, it was 18 months in the making that he tracked McKenna, hadn't he? So obviously, And he obviously, look, he would have had a list of people if Kieran had left. These managers, these CEOs, you have to be forward thinking, Matt. You ain't going to get caught with your pants down. You know,
exactly.
You have to be clued up, knowing where you're going next. And he would have been, he would have been praying. And they said, I think they talked 2 or 3 times a day. They've got a great relationship, haven't they? Mark Ashton and Kieran.
And it comes across on the screen, I think. It's not false, is it?
Yeah.
It doesn't come across like that anyway.
It's a bit like, not father-son, because the age, but something like that, isn't it? There is that mutual respect. I think you can tell when, like you say, when they're sitting down there, they've got that. And look, long may it continue. Yeah. Long may it continue. It gives us a much better chance going into the season, Matt, you know, now that Kieran's staying. It does. Because you're going to continue that work that he's put in for the last 2.5 years. And now it's just about adding some pieces to the puzzle, isn't it? And getting some signings in and seeing it's going to be fascinating moving forward where we go and how. I think, look, outside of Ipswich Town, everyone's wrote us off already. We're going down. They have, haven't they?
Yeah. God, yeah.
You'll see. You go and look on some betting sites tonight for your relegation odds for next season. Town are probably odds on.
Well, you can understand that, though. The 3 promoted went back down again, didn't they? Burnley, Sheffield United, Luton. So, I mean, you can understand that, can't you?
But I think we've got something different. We've got something different because this has been building. Like them building blocks, it's over them 2.5 years. And we've always had that momentum coming in. Whereas a team like Luton, brilliant that they got promoted, right? But can a team ever be ready to get promoted to the Premier League?
You're right. They had back end of the Championship season momentum, didn't they? Because they were like down near the bottom. Rob Edwards comes in. They go on a huge run. I think they won something like 12 away games. They finished 3rd. You got the momentum going to the playoffs. And they gave it a good go in the Premier League. They weren't Premier League ready, were they? The stadium weren't ready for one thing. We were laughing about their ground, weren't we? They had to get that stand done.
They done well to get that done in 3 months, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, look, fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? But I think it feels like, you know, they went up, they've taken the money and good luck to them. But the fact is that we seem to have been building, albeit quite rapidly, to get to the Premier League. And we've done it much quicker than what everyone thought. But we seem to have more building blocks in place. You know, you've got the ownership model. You've got the stadium being renovated on. You've got the best young manager in Europe, as you say. It just feels like we're in a better place, don't you think, than those clubs?
I'm not saying it's going to be easy in the Premier League. I think everyone knows it's going to be hard work. But
yeah,
I'd even say than like a Sheffield United. I know, were they that great this season? No, they weren't. They've been a consistent team in the Championship. But
under Chris Wilder, they've done all right.
This is different, isn't it? This is different because it's only happened 4 times in the Championship history that a team have gone back to back. You know, so and it's going to be fascinating how we get on. I'm just them first 2 or 3 signings. I think we're going to push the boat out. I think a lot of people might be surprised at the amount we're going to spend because I think you're going to have to, Matt. You're going to have to spend a bit of money now, and that might have been a reason why Ed Swartz come over. You know, talking about potential signings. There's all of that in the mix. But look, the Americans have done an amazing job since they've taken over the club.
Brilliant, just brilliant.
But they had that foresight to look, and they obviously looked at other clubs because when we had Burke and we had Mark Detmer on, they'd looked at other clubs around the country, and we were just so fortunate that they decided. We were fortunate they decided to pick Town, you know. But then they obviously employed Mark Ashton, and he's one for me. I know we sometimes call him he's a little bit David Brent-esque, but he has done.
He's been brilliant.
An absolutely incredible job. If you listen to Bristol City fans when he came in, all that negative chat.
Very negative,
Don't see them now. Don't see them now on the socials saying anything after back-to-back promotions. They've gone rather quiet. And he had the foresight to employ Kieran. And did anybody think it would go this well? No way. No way. It'd be on our wildest dreams. It was getting out of League One was the hardest part because it took us 4 years in there. And I think we all thought, right, get to the Championship. And I think me and you both predicted about 8th to 12th. You know, maybe pushing to the playoffs. And we've just skyrocketed, haven't we, the way we've gone and the football that we've played. And I think it'll continue into the Premier League. I think, like Mark Ashton said, they'll attack the league. We ain't going to come in here and do a Norwich and just wave the white flag and go back down. We'll come in and we're going to have a right go. But weren't it great today? Norwich named their new manager. Yeah, that's a little bit of news. We'll trump you. You for your contract, Kieran McKenna. Get back Norwich where you belong now. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, what are they trying to do? They've got a young 30-something manager in from Scandinavia, trying to probably replicate what we've been doing with a different model. Because they've not gone down that route before, have they?
No.
It was very interesting that McKenna said he was humble enough to respect the level when we go to the Premier League, but he said we're going to be ourselves and we'll back ourselves to be competitive in our own way. So, I mean, I do hope we don't. I think we can only play one. Look, there's a thing, isn't there? We conceded a lot of goals. We scored a lot of goals. We still don't know how that might pan out in the Premier League. But I think you can't. I think he's right to abandon those tactics that have been so successful. You might as well just go out swinging, right? It's like a boxer. You might as well just go in swinging and see what happens because it's been successful for us so far at a level below and 2 levels below, being League One, then into the Championship. Let's see what it brings.
I think he'll have to tweak a few things. And look, and we don't know how some of these players. There'll be certain players, Matt, that we might think are not going to be good enough. They might well step up. You know, that's the unknown, isn't it? That is the unknown that we don't know a lot about a lot of these players. But Kieran will have confidence in people. Look, Cameron Burgess, for one example. I mean, look at the progress he's made under McKenna. You know, the coaches.
Yeah, you said that from the start, didn't you?
Massively.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't write some of these players off by not being good enough for the Premier League. But look, we're obviously going to need to add to it. And I think he'll be tactically. He'll make a few tweaks. I don't think we'll play as open as we have done. I don't think you can. I think you
depends on the opposition, maybe.
Yeah, there'll be certain games where
away.
Well, especially at home, we're going to have a strong home record if we're going to have a decent season. We're going to have to get quite a few points at home, and we've been strong. 2 defeats over 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons. Yeah, absolutely.
So
we have managed to make it into Fortress.
That's where you're going to have to put your building blocks in, and if you can establish yourself at home and win some games at home, and then on the road, look, it's going to be tough. All these teams we go into, but we're going to go and have a go. We look, the football that we play. I mean, it's some of the best football, Matt, that we've seen for bloody 20 plus years since George Burley's been down here. Well, and I think now, if Kieran can have a good season in the Premier League. Look, football's changed from when we were back here in 2000 and we come 5th. And George Burley was a good manager. I think Kieran McKenna, he'll surpass George Burley. Not in maybe in terms of getting Town to 5th, because I think that's nearly impossible. I think in his career, when he leaves Town, he'll go with all our best wishes. I think if he had gone now, he might not from everybody, because I think we said that, look, we'd have accepted if he went, but a few people he'd have got some stick, because that's football, Matt. You're easily forgotten, aren't you, sometimes?
Well, we said 15, 20 years ago, you and me would have been giving him stick, but we're a bit different these days, right?
But we're glad that we're not.
Even like, you just got to look at the Vincent Kompany to Bayern Munich to show you that even if you do have a failure in your football career, look, we thought Burnley were really good at the cup, didn't we? When they went up with 100 plus points in the championship, we were like, they're going to do really well. And he spent something like 100 million on 20 odd players and done really badly with that squad that he kind of cherry picked himself. Yet now finds himself at the Allianz Arena with Bayern Munich for next season. So I mean, even a relegation on your record doesn't count against you these days. If the company story is to be anything to go by, don't you think?
Okay, Lee Anderson says Kieran McKenna is better than Burley already.
Well, I mean, look, the bar is high, isn't it? Because we did finish 5th that season, and you went to places like Anfield, and we won 1-0, the Marcus Stewart goal. I mean,
we won 9 away games. 9 away games that season.
Phenomenal. It was phenomenal, wasn't it?
But yeah, coming back to Vincent Kompany, I mean, it all depends for me. And so far we've got it right, haven't we, in the transfer market? We've made some really good signings, some really good loan signings. I've said before, that's going to hamper us a little bit. That I think you're only allowed 2. I think you're allowed European ones, Matt. From abroad, you can have loans.
Yeah, this has been the grey area, isn't it?
Two domestic
loans. Yeah.
So that might hurt us, but we've just got to be wise in that transfer market now. And you need them people, whoever we're going to sign coming in, they've got to buy into everything, haven't they? That the group have got, and the culture that Kieran's created. Brilliant team spirit. I mean, I said, I'll keep saying it. We weren't the best team in that league, but everything else, team spirit, they were so together, fans. Everyone was pulling in that same direction that got us over the line. And they're going to need that next season. Everyone's going to need to stick together, because it's not going to be as easy. We all know that. We're not stupid enough to come on here and say, oh, yeah, Town are going to be great. We're going to. But then if you listen to Darren Ambrose, even on Talk Sport, he says Town can finish in, so he's pushing for the top 10.
Love that.
But it's recruitment. Look at Steve's comment there. I think we need to recruit for the spine of the team: goalkeeper, centre back, centre midfielder, and striker. That's what you need to get sort of set. And you look at Burnley; they signed James Trafford, Matt, for like 20 million. Good young goalkeeper. Yeah. But I think
people were critical of him.
Yeah, but I think that's a real big leap from he was playing on loan at Bolton one season. The next season, he's playing against Erling Haaland and all them in the first game of the season. So it's a massive step up. So look, they'll have their targets, and I think now that Kieran's signed that contract, and we said, didn't we, if he went, there'd probably be agents. They'd be phoning up Mark Ashton, offering them players all the time, but there'd be certain players who'd be thinking, yeah, I'd like to go and play for Kieran. And then when you hear he might be leaving, you might think, I like Ipswich as a club, but yeah, try and get me to go somewhere else. So Kieran staying is key, I think, to who we recruit. That
was your worry when we were chatting at the cricket yesterday, wasn't it? The fact that like McKenna is the hook for players that we ordinarily might not be able to get, but people see what's going on at Ipswich. It's about promotions. This young manager coming through. People love him playing now. People want to be part of success, don't they? I mean, the fact that you've now got Kieran staying could well attract players that may not have thought they would play for Ipswich. Amari Hutchinson being one. He knows what he's like in the dressing room. He's done a season with us now. Who knows whether or not now the fact that we're now in the Premier League and on Fabrizio Romano's radar, 30 million followers on Instagram, he seems to think that Ipswich are interested and Maresca wants to have a say once he's appointed. So I mean, who knows? But that'd be look. You're talking 20 million, right? Minimum.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, I see they're going to trigger the extra 12 months, which I thought they would anyway.
Yeah. So you put a bit of extra money on top of that.
But I did say, didn't I? It wouldn't surprise Germany, and I think Stuttgart are in.
Stuttgart finished second.
And this is the thing. They've got the pool of Champions League football, Matt, that they can offer a young player like Hutchinson. And it's not all, as much as I'd love him to come back, you know, it might be a bit too much. But look, you've got McKenna there, like you say now. Who knows? But Maresca's getting a 5-year contract at Chelsea. I mean, that is a bold move by Chelsea, I think, to appoint him. And where was I listening today? I can't have a podcast somewhere. He's basically going to have no say in any transfers. He's basically the coach. You come in here and you coach. And that is what McKenna would have got if he'd have probably gone to like a Brighton, because Tony Bloom oversees that. If he'd have gone to Chelsea, I'm not sure about Man United, what the deal is with their
models, aren't they? They're very European models of that.
And I think that's how it's going, isn't it? That is how it's going now towards. I wouldn't want it to get that way at Town. I'd always like the manager to ever say who he wants to bring in. You know, like when Graham Potter went to Chelsea, you see all them signings they were making. He didn't have a say in any of them. Yeah,
probably didn't help him that. I mean, look, if Fabrizio Romano is to be believed, he said Sunday night Chelsea actually phoned McKenna personally and said, you know, we're going with somebody else, and then that snowballs into the fact that we get in the contract. So I do wonder whether or not, had the Chelsea offer been on the table for Kieran, maybe he would have gone. But they've gone with Maresca, which me and Martin were chatting about. Like, it seems a bit of an odd thing to me, Rich, to be honest, considering that they tailed off in the back end of the season, didn't they? They had an 18-point lead over everybody. In the end, they finished 3 points ahead of us.
I was reading the other day he was manager at Parma, wasn't he?
Yeah, Sarah B.
Flopped there, didn't he? I think 4 wins in 14. Then he got the bullet, and then obviously he was with Pep. Look, it would have been a massive failure at Leicester if they hadn't got over the line with.
Yeah, they only just did.
Yeah, at the end there they finally did, but they made it hard work, didn't they? When they were so far ahead of us on, I think was it Valentine's Day that day? Yeah. 18 clear, and then what did we finish? 1 point behind them. I think it's a point behind them in the end because they lost that last game, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, we finished on 96.
Colin, take them blue tinted glasses off.
Oh, Colin,
we have more potential than Stuttgart.
Stuttgart's in the Champions League, Colin. Come on, give them some respect. They've broken them and Leverkusen have broken the Dortmund Bayern Munich stranglehold on the Bundesliga, so we have to give them respect. But look, even then, you see what happens with the pull of a manager. There's now talk of Ronaldo coming out of the Saudi Pro League, going to Leverkusen to finish his career. I mean, who'd have thought that 12 months ago? Do you know what I mean? So who knows what Kieran might bring to the table? But yeah, I was surprised with the Maresca thing, to be honest with you. I mean, look, how gutted are Leicester? I mean, you know, you've had that success, you've bounced back. They've got the blow of the minus points coming up. Maybe that's thinking. Maybe.
Yeah, there you go. I've been reading they might get a record number of points deducted. This
will be bottom to start with. Right?
So does that come into his equation? But then when Chelsea come calling, I think wherever you're managing, Matt, if one of the big six come in, you're going to have serious thoughts about it. You are. I'm just being realistic here, you know, because the pool that they've got. Nick Pope, he's been linked to Town. Not good enough with his feet, gem for me. Not great.
Feet, haven't you?
Good goalkeeper, but with his feet, terrible.
Yeah.
But that's a area I think we'll have to address. And it's interesting still that I was just about to say that, James, about the retained list. Obviously, the players will know because that had to come out the third Saturday in May. That had to be.
We missed that already.
They don't have to make it public knowledge, but the players have to know. So they would obviously know who's staying, who's leaving. We'll soon find out. That'll probably come out, I'd have thought, in the next week, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I see Wes Burns. See a couple of Instagrams about him.
Phil.
Yes, Phil. We heard you.
We did, Phil. Very good. We appreciate that.
Sport, shout out. Good man.
Was this the reason Gov got on Sky Sports News? They were listening to that and then suddenly they had to put the call in to talk.
Well, this was breaking news yesterday when I knocked on Matt's door and he's like, guess who I've had on the phone this morning? I'm like, I got no idea. Sky Sports new.
I know.
Sky Sports. Talking Town are massive. Who would have thought that when we started, when we had 20 people watching?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Rich. Great show. We're gonna go, everybody. Martin's got to go off and do a few personal things. He's be driving. So look, we finished. It's 8 o'clock. We've done some time. We're back on Sunday. I'm not sure we're gonna be talking about transfer targets. Maybe, who knows? Maybe some more rumours between now and then. But we'll see you all on Sunday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We hope you're happy. McKenna is staying.
Chill out. We can all just chill out now, Matt. Relax. Enjoy the summer. Enjoy the signings. Enjoy when the friendlies get announced, and Yeah, let's just attack the league, as Mark Ashton would say. Give it a right go.
Exactly. Sharp mentality. We'll see you all on
Yes.
Sunday, everybody. All the best.
All the best.